Hello everybody, here we are today talking about the Jeremy Swayman contract extension issues that he and the Bruins have kind of run into as of late and getting in all of that. So before we get into it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So for those of you that don't know, Jeremy Swayman is a good young goalie that has seen 4 years in the NHL that have been good. Again, we've already talked about how Swayman has been part of the Bruins' success over the past few years. He has a save percentage for those 4 seasons that is nearly .920, 12 shutouts in that time with at least 2 shutouts in every season. He's a guy that has been able to have a quality starts percentage of nearly 65%. So 65% of the time you're getting a quality start out of him. That is good, especially for a team that even on those bad nights might be able to help him go out there and get a win. He is a guy that his goals saved above average total is always going to be, 10 or more, especially over the past few years, and is just going to be a player that is worth it to get that contract done where you want him to be around because you understand he is a good goalie. He has got 23 wins, 24 wins, and then 25 wins over the past 3 years. 72 wins where he's been able to help out the Bruins over that time. And his first year in a smaller stint, he had nearly a .950 save percentage. It is kind of understandable for Boston, a team that has made the playoffs in 15 out of the past 17 seasons, a side that wants to make it to the postseason regularly, why they would want to be able to get a contract extension done. And for Swayman saying that he wants to be with Boston long term, also understandable, where you'd think, yeah, this should easily be able to get a pen to paper type situation where everybody's happy, and now you've got a long-term deal for Swayman and the Bruins where they can say he is their guy in net for an organization that is going to the Stanley Cup final 3 times over this past, long period. They want to be able to win those big moments, and this is where things get a little bit weird though. And that's because Jeremy Swayman does not seem to be happy with the contract situation at the moment, and things get even a little bit more weird this week in the media as you would have the Bruins front office basically go out there in a press conference and say, well, there's 64 million reasons why you wouldn't be able to sign a deal with us or to play hockey. And it's basically implying, hey, $64 million, that's a decent chunk of change, as it would probably be an 8x8, 8 years for an AAV of $8 million. Not too bad for a guy that's never played over 50 games in a season before. And I think it's one of those situations where for Boston, they probably do feel like this is a good deal. And I think for a lot of people, yeah, they would view that as a nice contract for a younger player that is going to be getting that long-term security. And for Boston, especially looking at the fact they try to do those team-friendly deals, I feel like maybe they're offering more than people would have anticipated here. Problem is, though, I don't really think that's what Jeremy Swayman's looking out for at the moment. And on top of that, too, his party basically said, hey, we had never heard you guys say that number in private before. So it's a little weird that you're bringing it up now. So that's where things kind of get complicated as well, because does Swayman want more? And how much more exactly does he want? That's where things really get out of the woodworks here, and you start to wonder what exactly Swayman could be looking for. Could he be looking for $10 million a year? Something crazy where you say, holy cow, Swayman, you got to calm down a little bit here, bud. But in Swayman's defense, I'm going to go out there and say it. He is a player that's going to be playing nearly a decade, making less than what NBA players make in like a year for some of these top paid NBA guys or whatnot. So I understand why he's going to be looking out for himself, because you never really know if you're going to get another big long-term deal again. And if it is a longer-term deal, you want to be able to capitalize on that big contract, because after that, again, you might just be washed by the time it's all said and done. Boston might not be uber competitive, and you might not want to go to a new team. Think back to when Jonathan Quick was kind of going downhill for a bit there. He was going to get shipped off to Columbus. He didn't want to play there. Would Swayman want to be in that spot in 8 years, 9 years? I don't know. But I do know that right now Boston holds a little bit more of the cards because he is an RFA after this season. But I also know, too, they might have to be the one that blinks a little bit here. And I think there's kind of a middle ground where maybe things could work out well for both sides if you find a way to make the money work, where maybe you give him a shorter deal with more money. The problem is, I really don't know what Jeremy Swayman wants at the moment, and it's going to be hard, too, because Boston is trying to construct a team that can still be competitive. And like we've already said, Swayman may not be able to be that workhorse. He may not be able to be that top-tier guy. I don't know, but I think this is going to be very, very awkward right now because of the fact, too, Linus Ullmark is gone. He was traded off to Ottawa. Now they get Joonas Korpisalo. Korpisalo has had multiple bad seasons and kind of looks like a guy where he might not be able to be a starter for them. But guess what? The season is coming around really, really fast, and Korpi is probably going to have to be slated to be that guy. And for a team like Boston that has recently won the division, that has recently been able to win the President's Trophy, that has those aspirations of winning another Stanley Cup, Joonas Korpisalo is probably not the answer in net. You would like to see Jeremy Swayman go out there, because if he is able to play 50 or 55 games and give what he's already given you before, but give you more games of that, that's going to continue to help this Boston team out in terms of being competitive in the standings and maybe come playoff time actually going a deep run, something they haven't done since 2019. I don't know exactly if this thing will end well for either party. I think it very well could, but at the moment things are just very awkward and tense. And for this organization, you want to be able to have that security in net. And right now, it doesn't really look like it's going to be the case. So we're going to be continuing to follow this story along and see, especially for the Bruins, if they go off to a slow start, if Swayman decided, hey, I won't go out there and play, how things would pan out. So anyway, what are your thoughts on the Jeremy Swayman contract? Do you think that he is deserving of an 8x8? Do you think he should be paid less? Do you think that the team should give him maybe a 3 or 4 year deal worth more? How exactly do you think this all should play out? Do you think that the Boston Bruins should go out there and maybe even trade him, as crazy as that seems? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you go love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.